Hi, welcome back to the Harpreet Singh Show, and you're watching Tania's Truth Talk. And man, we got a guest for you today. Her name is Allison. She is the 2013 Canadian National Champion in bodybuilding. So welcome to the show, Dawn.
Thank you.
It's such a pleasure to have you on the show. I mean, you're so built and you've obviously worked very, very hard to get where you are. I remember seeing you for the first time in 2005. I didn't really think you could get in any better shape than that. But I look at you today and it's just amazing at how far you have become. Now, going back, I've noticed many pictures of you on the internet and so on, that you're a horse trainer. And you were involved in rodeo. Was this pro rodeo?
Well, not pro rodeo. I grew up, at 8, I got my first pony, and then I grew up in Port Coquitlam, and I did Gymkhana. Back in those days, I mean, Port Coquitlam was the country, and we used to have play days every weekend, and so I literally did everything. Barrel racing, jumping, 3-day eventing, pony club. I was into everything. And then I got into Arabian show horses in my late teens. And that's when I, chose a career of being a professional horse trainer. Took an apprenticeship as soon as I graduated from high school, and then went to the States when I was 19.
Now, did you pro rodeo, or I saw pictures of you barrel racing?
No, I did barrel race, which I loved. But, like I say, in my late teens, I got into Arabians, and that was really my love.
So you're a horse trainer now?
Well, I had a horse till a couple of years ago. And then when I married my last husband, it was either the horse or the husband. So he was lucky because he went out because the boyfriend before lost out to the horse.
Okay. So what inspired you to get into bodybuilding to such a degree? I mean, I work out every day, I work out hard. So I don't know how one could, I mean, this must be your first priority in your life. I mean, this obviously takes a lot, it's very consuming. What inspired you to do it and to this degree?
Well, I mean, actually, we just posted a video on YouTube yesterday of my parents, and I've always been like that since the day I was born. With me, it's all or nothing. And so whatever I do, I mean, my dad taught me, whatever you do, put some muscle into it, girl. And, I do that with everything in my life. So, if I do it, I'm going to do it right, or I'm not going to do it at all.
So now, with you being the 2013 Canadian National Champion bodybuilder, where do you go from here?
Well, I didn't get my pro card at this last show, so that was my ultimate goal. I mean, I kind of had two goals when I started my pursuit of bodybuilding, and one was to be a national champion, and two was to be a professional bodybuilder. And unfortunately, I didn't get my pro card at this last one, so I'm going to go to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on August 30th, and I have another chance down there. So
I'm actually really surprised to hear you say that you didn't get your pro card, because I mean, I've been in the fitness industry for a long time, and I see some of these people that they're handing pro cards to, and it's quite disappointing. And I look at you and I just wonder why that hasn't happened. What would you say to that? Politics?
Actually, the only thing that I can really honestly say is that I think God is making me an example. And I don't know why he has to choose me to be the example of perseverance and tenacity, and to, like, whatever your goal and your dream is, no matter how hard it is and how many obstacles you have to overcome, that you have to, no matter how hard you get knocked down, you have to pick yourself up and dust yourself off and keep moving towards that goal. And, I've been through drug addiction. I've been through, I'm on my third marriage. I've had a child who's going to be 12 next month. C-section. I can even list how many surgeries I've had. In my drug addiction and from alcohol and drugs, I was in so many car accidents, and I can even count how many cars I totaled. So I always say, but for the grace of God, there go I. And I really believe that God has kept me around for a reason. And maybe it's just to show people that, if you really have a goal and a dream, that you really need to pursue it no matter what obstacles are put in your way.
You just have to work hard for it. And I mean,
never give up.
That's true.
And I think a lot of people give up when they're really, really close. And it's like I get closer and closer and closer. But
instead you use that challenge to determine you to try harder. I mean, to look at you, you look like a tough woman, but from the people that I know you, and from what I've seen of you, you actually seem to have a really soft heart and care for people. Now, what would you say to the people that out there would say, oh, she just got where she was because of steroids? Because I hear this kind of thing all the time, but I don't care. People that do steroids, they still have to work their butt off in the gym.
Well,
so what would you say to
people
that?
think it's a magic pill, and it always amazes me. And I personally, if there's something that works that well, I wish somebody would tell me what it was, so I could get some. Because the amount of work that you have to do and the dedication. Like I was in Alberta, not Alberta. I was in what do you call it? Back east in Nova Scotia, and I was picking up my food at the Air Canada Cargo, and this little Asian guy comes in, and I was standing at the counter, and then he comes up to me, and it was kind of funny because there was a big burly biker on the other till, and this Asian guy comes up to me and goes like this beside my arm because I was wearing a tank top, and he goes, I've been working out for a year and I don't look like you. And I'm like, I've been working out for 29. Right?
It's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, and plus I've been riding horses since I was 8 years old, and like shoveling shit, baling hay, throwing feed sacks around, breaking horses. I mean, that's all hard work. And plus I'm from like a line of coal miners from northern England.
It's in your blood.
I'm from tough stock, right?
So what are the title, like what does the title mean to you? And you're going to go for another title. What does it mean to you to get these titles?
To me, it's setting a goal and reaching it, and having a dream and pursuing it.
Right.
No matter.
So it's obtaining your goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
because there's no money in it. I mean, especially women's bodybuilding, it's frowned on more and more. And really, the sport is almost dead. I mean, there's only a couple of pro shows at the pro level in the world left. And there may not even be any bodybuilding for women in the next 2 years, I don't think, personally. They're completely doing away with it.
Right.
And so, like to me, it's just, riding that wave. I'm going to be 49 in November. And, I really would like to, accomplish that dream before the sport is completely gone.
That would be quite an accomplishment. I mean, you're in amazing shape for anyone even half your age. Now, what is your view on steroids involving women in the sport?
Well, I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword because, I mean, it's not that I condone the use of them or I agree with them or I like them or anything else, but it's like anything in this life. If you want something, you have to be willing in order to do whatever it takes in order to get it. And, an elite sport in any sport in the world, there's going to be something involved.
That's extremely honest of you. And like with you train a lot of people that are competitive bodybuilders. You have quite a business and clientele, and you prep people for bodybuilding shows and so on. And my question to you, because I was thinking of competing recently for fitness figure, and I'm a woman of faith, of Christianity, and normally I don't wear bathing suits in public to the beach because I want to save that for my husband, right? But in the bodybuilding, it's kind of like, well, it's not really sexual because it's for the sport. But when you're dealing with women that are coming from Sikhism, Christianity, the Muslim faith, have you ever come to this where women have said, can I pose in something less revealing? Because I know that the bodybuilding federations have a certain standards of the posing trunks. So how do you deal with that?
Well, I mean, it's hard. I mean, I've come across that, several times, and there's some women that would really like to do it, but, whether, they're worried about what their families or their husbands or their kids or, other people will think. A lot of times they never actually, go all the way. I mean, some do, and they take a lot of flack for it. Some can continue, moving through that and, the negativity, and then others succumb to it and they may do it once and they don't do it again. Right.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, Dawn, and for being so open about everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, another great guest. Tune in next week to Tania's Truth Talk on the Harpreet Singh Show. There's more amazing guests to come.